Welcome to Whiskey and Wonder.
All right, second time's a charm.
It's been a minute.
It has been about a month,
Yeah.
and I have completely forgotten how to bring the show in. I went through and hit the intro or the record and the intro button, and then when it was time to hit the applause and the bring us up on the screen, I hit the intro button again and started the music all over. So that has been deleted, and we've got the first iron
Yes.
straightened out. So we are Whiskey and Wonder. I'm Tyler.
I'm Megan.
And we whiskey and we wonder here, although we've not been doing too much of it lately.
Nope. We're hopefully back on track though.
Yes, you guys will. It's been a month. You guys will hear about it in the open segment if you so choose to listen to that and want to know why we've been gone.
Yeah.
Quick announcements. Check out our Patreon. We've got some cool stuff going on over there. The coolest thing, in my opinion, is that you can vote on the infinity bottles. That's basically our own
Blend.
in-house blend. Yep, and you guys get to vote on what goes in them. And we actually try them from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Megan and Jamie hated the bourbon one last time we did one, and I actually thought it was decent.
It was not the best.
That's pretty much it. We've got a store, whiskeyandwonder.com.
Yep.
Go on there, check it out. We got some stickers, got some t-shirts and that sort of stuff. Go check it out if you want to support us.
For sure. For everyone who does take the time to support us, who is a Patreon or who sends us anything on PayPal, who buys from our store, thank you guys so much for everything you do. We cannot thank you enough. Your support means so much, and we appreciate you guys so much.
Yes. Thank you very much. Like Megan said, we couldn't do it without you. So,
yep.
All right, we're gonna get rolling since there's gonna be so much to talk about this week. Right into the open segment.
The open segment.
So, I have had a realization in the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I realized it had been a month only because I saw the date of the last recording in the files before we recorded.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, I thought it's been a lot longer than that.
That's last time me and Jamie recorded.
That's the last time you guys recorded. I was missing for the previous 2 episodes, so I want to give a shout out to Jamie. Thank you for filling in for me.
Thank you, James.
Honestly, I don't remember why I wasn't here. I know
you were in Colorado.
One was a vacation. I don't remember the other reason why I wasn't here. Was I in Colorado for both of them?
You were in Colorado for one of them, and another one was.
Oh, that's right. I had a meeting. Yep.
Yeah, meeting. Yes.
Yep. So, okay. Well, I guess I'll start by talking about my trip to Colorado.
Yeah, let us know. How was it? My stomping grounds.
It was fun. It was a good trip. Saw some stuff I didn't expect to see and some stuff that I super expected to see.
Like what?
Well, we were walking around downtown Denver and near the Rockies ballpark, and there was a pile of shit. I was like, oh, somebody let their dog shit on the ground. And then there was another pile of shit and another pile of shit a little further. And I was like, I noticed each one of them was right in front of a 2-foot, square pillar. So somebody had been resting their back against a pillar while they were shitting on the sidewalk.
Good old Denver.
Yep. Scummy. To be quite truthful, the area we stayed in was nice. There was definitely there were good parts to the trip. Most of it was not in Denver.
Fair.
The mountains were awesome. Colorado Springs was cool. Fort Collins was cool. Driving to those places was really cool. Just Denver itself was
Yeah. Hearing from my dad and stuff, it sounds like Denver has gotten real bad. since I last lived there. Apparently, it's not the city it was when I was growing up. So
Yeah, we honestly, I wish I could give you guys some more details. It's been so long ago. I'm struggling. So much has happened between then and now. I think my favorite part was going up into the Rocky Mountain National Park, and we were at this lake that was frozen over completely. There were very limited places we could go, but we got some awesome pictures, saw some awesome stuff.
oh, cool.
There was a little village that I don't remember what it was called. I'll have to look on a map and find out, but it was the coolest place. And I would love to go back and live there. And I would never actually probably live there just because it's Colorado, but
And it costs
yeah,
$50 million a year to live there.
costs $1 million, and we're not super aligned on as somewhere I want to live politically. So I want my guns, and Colorado tries to make it hard. So
Yeah.
Estes Park.
Oh, Estes Park.
Estes Park was a great little place. So
Yeah, Estes Park is really cool.
but yeah, we had. I'd highly recommend if you are out that way. As weird as this is going to sound, right up to Fort Collins. We make a long story short. We had to be out of the hotel at like 10:30 or 11 or whatever in the morning, and our flight didn't leave until midnight.
Oh, so
We had a whole day to kill.
whole day just to.
Yep. So we ended up doing some of the touristy stuff around Denver, seeing the Capitol and
Oh,
all
cool.
that stuff. And then, it was a weekday, so that was really cool, seeing all that. And then we had about, I don't know, 10 hours to kill.
Mm-hmm.
So we drove up to Fort Collins, and there is a road. There's like, I don't know how to describe it. Fort Collins is kind of like in the valley, and the mountains just to the west just rise up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a road you can take that goes up there. And you basically go up into the mountain, and then it drops back off into like a reservoir,
Yeah.
into a lake. And you can drive this road like in the area between the lake and the valley and just look out over both of them. And it's incredible.
It's gorgeous.
It's incredibly spooky if you do it at dusk like we did. But it was awesome. So we had a blast doing that, and we killed some time and drove around Denver. Finally went to the airport, and that airport is kind of weird looking, honestly. But
I mean, it's DIA. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it is the Illuminati headquarters, obviously.
yep. So other than that, I don't. Actually, I do have one more thing on the Denver. Probably the most important thing. I'm unabashedly going to plug a place, and this is a happy coincidence. I'm wearing the shirt today. But
Okay.
I'm going to show you my shirt on camera.
All right. Oh, it is Bull and Bush. It is a brewery.
It is a brewery. It's very much. It was modeled after like an English pub. This place happened to be like not even half a mile from the hotel we stayed in, and we just ended up there to watch a race. Honestly, we went in there just to watch a race, and turns out this place has a great selection of whiskey. They have some staff there that really know their whiskey, and they're
Oh,
very,
cool.
very involved, getting a lot of barrel picks. The owners are very involved with that. So we met some awesome folks, got to take a little tour of their brewery, got to talk to them a lot about whiskey, and I got to try 4 whiskeys that I had never tried before. All recommendation of I wish I had taken better notes. All recommendation of either I don't remember what I'm sorry to the server out there. I don't remember if your name was Gabe, Marcus, or James, but all 3 of those are the guys that knew the whiskey, and also I don't know why that says Flush AG. Anyway, so I tried Knob Creek 14-year, which is the no parking, and the one of the distillers' last name is No, N-O-E.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a single barrel pick of a 14-year Knob Creek. Redemption, which I, if I had come right back and done this, I could have told you all about it. The Russell 8-year single barrel and a single malt from Finland, which was incredible.
Interesting.
I really enjoyed all four. I did basically a lot of since I think it was Gabe. I think Gabe is the one that was our server. Gabe, I let our server do a lot of the picks and kind of told him a little bit of what I liked, and he did not fail me. He picked 4 great ones.
Very cool.
So
Awesome. So it sounds like this is going to be a place that I need to go check out when I'm in Colorado.
yes, I certainly got a Bull and Bush little drinking glass too.
Nice.
And a T-shirt, obviously.
Very cool.
The other big news, well, couple big newses. I think I've mentioned on here I'm finishing a room in my house and we're getting a new studio. So there may be some more weeks where we're not here, just moving equipment. And to be quite frank, I don't know if I could replicate the setup we have in here. So
we might have to
there might be some serious
and move stuff around and
there
things in the studio.
Yep. So we're definitely gonna have to move all this stuff to the other room, and this room is gonna become Shelby's office when she moves in at the end of May, or slightly thereafter, whichever one's finished, whether the room or Shelby getting here
Comes first.
Yeah, whichever one comes last.
Or last, yes.
So that's one thing. The other thing is I got another dog.
The best part.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my God.
Shelby and I are crazy people, and we have 4 dogs living in a fairly small house. If you look on Megan's screen, you can see Amelia. That's what I've named her. I call her Millie, or actually, the nickname. You know how you try to give a dog a nickname. So my other dog's name is Bohannon. Call him Bo, but his actual nickname is Bubba. Don't know how it stuck, but it did. Anyway,
It did stick.
the first couple days she was home, we were playing in the hall, and I was at one end and Shelby was at the other, and she was playing with me, and then she all of a sudden ran down to the other end of the hall, and I started yelling, "Milson, Milson, I'm sorry, Milson," just like Tom Hanks when he lost Wilson, and so now her nickname has stupidly become Milson. But yeah, she's a sweetheart. She's super licky, which I don't like.
We're going to fix it.
We're gonna fix it. And yeah, she's been pretty good other than chewing a couple things, and I've had
A huge scare.
I've had a huge scare. I'm that's a big reason why we haven't recorded. So I'm going to let Megan talk about her time, and then we'll talk a little bit about why we haven't recorded.
Okay.
Or I'll come back and talk about that, I guess.
Okay. Well, guys, it's been so long. I can't remember what all I've told you and what all I haven't. I mean, life has been good, same as it has been. I can't think of a whole lot that I've done in the past few weeks that needs to be talked about, other than I have plans coming up that I'm really excited for. So, Jamie turns 30 on Friday. So,
Can I just tell one fun anecdote? So Shelby turned 30 last week, and we were going out to dinner that evening, and I got to her house, and she goes, my toe's been cramping all day. She does a switch just flip when you turn?
Welcome to 30.
No, she said something like, my toe's been cramping all day. I said, you're 30 now. Welcome to the club. And she's like, is it just a switch flip like that? I was like, pretty much.
yeah.
So
Yeah, facts.
come on, Jamie, join us.
So Jamie turns 30 on Friday. So we are going to celebrate that. We've decided that I took off a few days for her birthday. We both have Thursday, Friday off, so we're gonna go take the dogs to the beach on Thursday and stay the night out there, and then come back Friday. And then I'm gonna take her to hopefully a really nice dinner on Friday, and just be something cool, quiet, intimate. She doesn't want to celebrate at all, but I didn't let that fly. So
I'm with you, Jamie. I can relate.
So that's coming up. And then at the end of May, we are flying to Colorado. It'll be my turn to go to Colorado.
Nice.
So Jamie will get to meet my whole family. She met my dad and Paula when they came down here before
In October for the race.
Yep, in October for the race when we were still just friends. And then, a few weeks later, all of the craziness happened, and I called my dad and was like, so, remember that girl you met? Get ready to see a lot of her. But she hasn't met my mom or my sister and brother-in-law and my nibblings, so I'm really excited to go. Nibblings? You don't know the word nibblings?
I've heard it, but I don't remember what it is.
So, you know how if you have sisters and brothers, they're your siblings?
Yeah.
If you have nieces and nephews, they're your nibblings.
Okay. It sounds like like what's left on your plate after you finished eating. Yeah, these are my nibblings.
Okay. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Okay.
My niece, my eldest nibbling, is graduating high school, which just saying that makes me nauseous. So we're gonna go down for her graduation. And while we're there, obviously I'm gonna show Jamie where I grew up. We have a cabin that we're gonna stay at up in the mountains for a few of the days, and it's going to be really exciting, so I can't wait for that. It'll be the first time Jamie has ever flown. Ever.
Oh, you're in for it. You're in for a treat, Jamie.
There have been numerous times where she's been like, can we just drive? No, we already have the tickets. They're booked. We're flying. So Jamie is braving an airplane for me.
Is she afraid to fly?
I'm going to say yes, but I think she might yell at me for saying that out loud on the podcast. But yes.
No shame in that. It's fine. Take some melatonin and knock your ass out. It's not a bad flight. That's about as far as I'd want to go in a plane. But I think Megan and I might be wrong here.
Yeah.
But I believe we're having some internet issues.
Uh-oh.
Because I can't bring our schedule up.
Oh, no.
Yep. And so they were doing some work outside earlier. But that's fine. Hopefully we shouldn't need it. I just don't have the schedule now. So, but hopefully I can still see my research. So.
Okay. Well, that's the important part. And if we have to wait to upload it tomorrow or whatever, well, then that's what needs to happen.
Yep. Okay, so a little bit about what's been going on and why we haven't recorded. Well, I can take credit for most of that. Megan had a random week where she's like, hey, ain't happening this week, boss.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Migraine
Okay,
week.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was still dealing with my issues. So I've had a pretty I don't know, you can call it the 3 weeks from hell if you want to. Nothing has gone terribly wrong, but nothing has gone right. And it's not like it's little stuff that's gone wrong. It's like moderate stuff. And so combine that with just as busy as I normally am, it's been hell. The worst and absolute Sorry, I'm laughing at the tour I gave Megan earlier. The worst
Jesus Christ.
part started with Bo about 2.5 weeks ago. Got really sick. He vomited about 6 times in 24 hours and couldn't keep anything down. And so one emergency vet trip later and a couple other. No, I'm sorry. I don't think Bo ever went to the actual vet. I think he just had the one trip. Spoiler alert. So one emergency trip for Bo, they put him on medicine for vomiting, which caused diarrhea. So not only has my dog been vomiting
Now
in my
he's
house,
having diarrhea.
now he's having diarrhea in my house. And then 2 weeks ago, 2 Tuesdays ago, Millie was scheduled to get spayed, which is right. Bo started the Thursday prior, vomiting and having diarrhea. And so it went through the weekend and he started getting a little better. I finally realized that it was the meds giving him diarrhea. And I think the initial vomiting came from something he got into in the backyard, like wild onions or something. We don't know. Anyway, flash forward to Millie gets spayed, comes home and starts having... she started with diarrhea. That's what she started with. And so it was bad. Y'all. It was bad.
Tyler took me on a tour of his house and showed me.
No. Not my house. My room.
Yeah, okay. A tour of his room and showed me where nowhere was safe.
No.
Nowhere was safe.
I mean, it was like wake up in the middle of the night and have to clean multiple times a night. And like I said, Millie ended up getting diarrhea from the meds the pain meds they gave her after her spay, I think is what happened. I took her to the emergency vet. No, I'm sorry. I took her to the regular vet. They switched her pain meds. We started seeing a little bit of improvement. I had a probiotic at home they told me to put her on. And she starts slowly. Well, frankly, I didn't see her go to the bathroom for about 5 days because. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Ended up having to take her to the emergency vet too. That's the point of the story. So I went to the emergency vet twice in a week.
Dogs.
And yeah, I came home and she was still having diarrhea with blood in it. And make a long story short, like I said, she had gotten spayed. That was on Thursday. She got spayed on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, I had gone to work and she had had diarrhea in the crate and gotten it all outside the crate, but all over her and all over. And she had just got spayed the day before, so I can't give her a bath, but I can't let her just walk around and shit.
Yep, covered in diarrhea.
So I have to forcibly, because she's a wiggle worm, carry this dog covered in shit into my bathroom and bathe her without bathing her. And anyway, yeah, that was another part of it. Anyway, so fast forward, the moral of the story. I took her to the emergency vet. They put her on a different probiotic, gave her some medicine for the for the diarrhea. And and they gave her a different pain med as well. I stopped giving her the pain med because she didn't seem like she was in pain. I mean, this dog, like 3 or 4 days after getting spayed, was jumping up 4 steps from the ground to the top of the porch without touching any of the steps.
Aussies.
So I ended up watching her, and she didn't seem like she was in any pain. So I stopped giving her that. I was like, let's cut one thing out of the equation. And so I misread the labels on the diarrhea drug, and I realized it said not to give it to her with the probiotic, but I thought it said to give it to her once a day, not every 12 hours. And so I was giving her the diarrhea medicine once a day and the probiotic for the other meal. Well, she was having diarrhea and vomiting.
Shit.
And so I finally worked through the diarrhea meds, get that problem solved. Give her I realized my mistake and stopped giving her the probiotic. She didn't use I didn't see a bowel movement for 5 days, but they basically said, it could be a couple days because she's empty. And she's eating chicken and rice. So ultimately get the diarrhea worked out, give her the probiotic, and immediately starts vomiting again. And so that's when I kind of clicked on me, like she's vomited when I've given her the probiotic. So I'm taking her ass off of that.
Yeah, no
And
probiotic.
so once I pulled them off the drugs, they all got better. Go fucking figure. So I paid money to have the vets make my dogs worse.
Fuck.
And I want everybody to know that when I shut my door to my room, which we have to do when we leave because a certain dog will go get on my bed and shed all over it. My room still smells.
Like shit?
Well, no, just like shit and vomit.
Shit and vomit.
It still smells. I don't know what to do. I don't want to rent a rug doctor because those things are never cleaned. My shampooer doesn't work. I have scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed and still had enough stains to give Megan a tour. Not to mention the constant freaking out and stress and financial burden of all that. So it's been a rough 3 weeks.
It has been a lot. It's been a lot.
And that's just the dogs. That's not counting the fact that I have had to rearrange half of my house for Shelby moving in and them to work on the room and the garage and the deck. I need a vacation.
It sounds like you need something.
I just took a vacation. I need a freaking vacation.
Oof.
Anyway, that's the biggest reason why we've not been on the air is because I've been dealing with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm going to be honest with y'all. I didn't remember what my topic was today. I did this research
A month ago?
a month ago and forgot what the topic was. So, but I do know what it is now. So, with that note, we're gonna get to the whiskey.
Opening the bottle.
Bless you.
I tried so hard to not sneeze.
Yeah, I see that.
All right. We are drinking. What is this called? Russell's.
Yes.
Russell's Reserve.
Single barrel.
Single barrel.
Yep.
Yep.
And I just want to clarify the last two. I will be doing the whiskeys from the last two episodes. I will be taking a couple sips of those, and I can promise you, I am not going to like one of them.
I am sure. I don't know if you looked at our ratings and saw some spoilers, but
I did look at your ratings, and I was confused at first because I thought you rated it a 10, and I was like, Megan, no.
oh no, there's no 0 after that. So Russell's Reserve Single Barrel is part of Wild Turkey's Russell's Reserve line, named in honor of Jimmy and Eddie Russell, the father-son master distiller team that have a combined tenure at Wild Turkey in excess of 100 years. Russell's Reserve Single Barrel is bottled at 110 proof, which is likely fairly close to barrel proof, considering the fact that Wild Turkey's barrel entry proof The proof that the distillate enters the barrel for aging is relatively low at 107 to 115, resulting in a low barrel proof for Wild Turkey's bourbons by comparison to the other distilleries, which typically enter the barrel at the maximum allowable 125 proof. It is also non-chill filtered. While the bourbon does not have an age statement, barrels tend to range from about 8 to 10 years old. Like all of Wild Turkey bourbons, it is made from their single bourbon mash bill.
I'm going to have to go run and do a green flag pit stop at some point during this. So, Megan?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll talk about what I smell.
You smell first, and then I'll talk and read what we're supposed to smell.
So, I'm out of practice. I haven't had bourbon. I haven't had bourbon since the Bull and Bush.
Wow.
Yep, in Colorado. That's a whiskey, not just bourbon, whiskey. That's the last time I've had.
That's the last time you've had whiskey?
Yeah.
Are you sick?
No.
Okay. Wow. I don't know what to say. I can't. It's been like a month since you drank whiskey.
No, 6 weeks.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yep. It's been.
Damn.
Yep. I've been busy as hell. I don't really. I say that to say that I'm out of practice. I'm getting a lot of spice. And something kind of. I don't want to say butterscotchy, but kind of butterscotch is what it reminds me of.
Okay.
So with that, I'm going to go do a green flag pit stop. We're having internet troubles here, and I want to see if it is me or Spectrum. So I will be right back. Also, quick question. Did you guys do the mail, or do we need to do the mail?
I did not do any mail.
Okay, we'll do the mail.
Well, I agree with Tyler. This is a very spicy whiskey. I'm getting like cinnamon. There is a bit of sweetness to it. Maybe Tyler says butterscotch. That doesn't seem quite right, but it's not vanilla or caramel either. I can't put my finger on what type of sweetness it is. I'm going to have to think on it and let you guys know if I come up with a better word other than butterscotch. There is an oakiness to this, like a woodiness. Overall, it definitely is very typical kind of bourbon flavors, especially like Wild Turkey. And we are supposed to be smelling...
I'm back.
Welcome back. Oak, caramel, graham cracker, cigar box, smokiness, leather.
All right, read me off the first couple again. I heard caramel and what?
Let's see. Caramel, oak, graham cracker.
Yep, get oak.
Smokiness that is accented by cigar box. Leather.
Yeah, I've smelt many cigar boxes in my time, and I don't smell any in here.
I didn't get any type of cigar or tobacco or anything like that either, so I am very confused where that comes from. But you just tasted it. How are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. You know, I feel like I could take on the Empire myself. You know, I definitely, sorry for clicking my teeth there. I definitely can taste leather. There was a sweetness on the front end. I'm having serious deja vu right now. And yeah, I need another sip.
It is hotter than I thought it would be.
It is a single barrel.
Yeah.
It's 110 proof too.
Yeah, it's a little bit hotter than I thought it would be. And I guess that kind of threw me off a bit. I feel like the spice, it's a. I took like all the baking spices you would use to like make apple pie, like cinnamon and allspice and like nutmeg. If you just poured them in like a pile and then like just licked it.
Okay, well, I can describe it a little easier, I feel like. Big Red.
Big red chewing gum. Big red chewing gum.
Yep.
You're right.
I felt so stupid when I didn't say it because it sounded so stupid in my head. I was like, it smells like Big Red chewing gum. So it tastes like it too. I'm going to say it this time.
Yep, it does. It tastes like Big Red chewing gum. That super cinnamony. Cinnamony.
Yep. It's that kind of spice, that exact spice.
Yeah.
God, that's incredible. I'm gonna get off on a tangent here for a minute. I haven't had Big Red since I was a child, but I can still tell you exactly what it tastes
like.
Yep. You
know? We are supposed to be tasting rye spice, oak, caramel, leather, tobacco, and toffee.
Like I said, you guys know me. I try to get 3. I can definitely get the leather, the I don't know if I'd call it toffee. To me, it's sweeter. It's more like a caramel, oaky, leathery, and spice.
Okay.
Big Red spice.
Yeah, cinnamon spice, for sure.
Cinnamon sugar swirls in every bite.
The cinnamon is overpowering, but I do get a bit of the smokiness, a bit of the oak, a little bit of the leather. But it is overwhelmingly cinnamon.
Well, I guess we'll dive into my my topic today.
Cool.
I do just want to clarify. At the end, I will rate this Revelstoke Smorgasm. If you can tell by my tone, I'm looking forward to it. And then I'll rate the Pinhook. I don't even know what this is called. The Pinhook Horsey Bourbon.
Horsey Bourbon.
It's named after a horse, or a horse is named after it. So I'll have to look and see what called that. Looks like a Pinhook 2021 flagship bourbon heist. So I will rate those at the end.
Cool.
It's time for the Wonder segment.
All right. So, sorry, let me get the cameras set up so they're not going to cut off while I'm doing this. Like I said, I didn't even really remember what what I researched. It's been that long. But looking back, maybe it's a blessing that we've had so much to talk about. We've got so much time out of the way because this was a shorter topic. I struggled to find a topic. So, and this one kind of leapt out at me, but it's not a huge topic. So we're going to take a little journey through space. And we're going to go about 35 million miles away to our nearest celestial neighbor, which appears on the surface to just be a simply desolate, lifeless rock. It moves at a measly rate of 14.5 miles per second, slightly slower than our own space rock, which travels at 18.5 miles per second. Yet, despite the slow speed and the desolate landscape, an apparent lack of life-sustaining water, we're looking to move there. or at least Elon Musk is. So today we're going to dive a little further into the red planet. We're going to learn how it compares to Earth, how it differs, and whether or not it can potentially support us. Let's start by getting a general overview of Mars. It's the fourth planet in our solar system between the Earth and the asteroid belt, and it's roughly 142 million miles from the sun, has 1/10 the mass of the Earth, and 62.5% less gravity, and roughly is half the size of the Earth as well. It has two moons, Phobos and Deimos, which are 13.8 and 7.8 miles in diameter, respectively. Since Mars is further from the sun than the Earth, it takes longer to orbit, meaning that a Martian year is longer than an Earthian. Wow.
Earthen?
I just made up a new word.
The Urshans.
Than the Earth's year. In fact, it's almost double. Hopefully, we all know that an Earth year is 365 and 1/4 of a day. The quarter of a day is why we have a leap year every 4th year. You didn't know that. Oh, look.
Got a little tiny Tyler nugget snuck in there.
Just a baby Tyler nugget slipped out. On Mars, one full revolution around the sun is 687 days. A Martian day is 24 Earth hours plus 40 minutes. So basically add 40 more minutes into your day. What would you do with it?
I mean, I could use an extra 40 minutes. I mean, that's my commute.
There's so many possibilities. She can't even say one.
All of the possibilities in my head went inappropriate immediately.
Oh, I was thinking sleep.
Oh, well, sleep is a good one. My commute is 40 minutes. It would take away my commute.
There you go. All right, where was I? If you were to cut Earth open like a tennis ball and to fill that volume, it would take more than 6 Mars-sized objects to fill that space. So,
all right, so Mars is tiny compared to us.
A lot smaller than, yeah. Now that we've got some of the more generic stats out of the way, let's take a look at the history of Mars, its place in human history, and we'll wrap up by looking at some more facts and stats that will explore whether Mars is a potentially habitable place for humans. I hope I did that because I don't remember doing that.
Oh, no.
And that could be just
making it up.
Yep. So, scientists believe that Mars was created 4.6 billion years ago during the creation of our solar system. Well, it would kind of make sense for it to be created during our solar system. As for the details of exactly how Mars came to be, there are two prevailing theories. The first and more widely accepted theory is called core accretion. This theory believes that the solar system began as a cloud of space dust called a solar nebula. Over time, this cloud collapsed onto itself due to its mass and gravity, which resulted in a flat, spinning disk of matter, which over time was drawn into the middle, where the pull of gravity was the strongest. This is what became our sun in this theory. Over time, other particles of matter collided and combined to form the rocky planets, including Mars, moons, moons, asteroids, and comets that make up our solar system. While these celestial bodies formed, the solar winds were able to push the lighter elements, typically hydrogen and helium, much further out, resulting in rocky worlds forming closer to the sun. And further from the sun, the solar winds were weaker, meaning that the hydrogen and helium were moved around less, resulting in the creation of large gas planets. The core accretion theory explains the creation of the terrestrial planets well, but the gas giants would have had to have evolved rapidly in order to create enough gravity to trap the gases that make them up. The second, newer theory, the disk instability model, attempts to solve this issue. It states that clumps of dust and gases were bound together during the early formation of the solar system, which allowed them to capture the light gases in as little as a few thousand years versus the millions that the core accretion theory would take. For the formation of Mars and the other terrestrial planets, I personally feel that core accretion is the correct theory of formation. And by terrestrial planets, I even put that in here. For anyone who may not know the terrestrial planets, that's Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. All these planets share the characteristics of being made up of mainly rocky surfaces, which if you took the water away from Earth, it'd basically be a
big rock.
Yep. Historians think that Mars was first observed by the ancient Sumerians, who are considered the earliest urban civilization, dating back to around 6500 BC. For some scale on the human timeline on Earth, ancient Egypt history dates back to 3150 BC. Just let that sink in. Mars was first observed in 6500 BC, and the ancient Egyptians, which basically is one of the oldest civilizations that I can think of.
Yeah.
Was 3150 BC. That's like 3,500 years.
That is an astronomical time span.
Time gap?
Yeah. Yeah, that's more from where we ancient Egypt to now. Like by a fuck ton.
Yeah, we're in 2023.
23.
Yep. So since the Common Era, it's still the Common Era would fit into that timeline.
That's insanity.
Yep. Fit into that time gap, I should say.
That's insane.
So like I said, ancient Egypt history typically dates back to around 3150 BC. The ancient Greeks were 1200 BC. So even more present day, for lack of a better term. The Sumerians were observing Mars 3,000 years before the ancient Egyptians began recording things. That's it. Egyptians were the first ones to write
record.
Things down. Yeah. That's what I was trying to say. The Sumerians named Mars Nergal, the god of war and plague. During the Sumerian time, Nergal was a minor deity, but in later Mesopotamian texts, Mars is referred to as the star of judgment of the fate of the dead. So, spoiler alert: a lot of cultures basically called Mars the god of war. As I mentioned the ancient Egyptians earlier, well, when they finally did come along in history, astronomers were already aware of the retrograde movements. When something is in retrograde, it's moving backward from normal. And when it comes to planets, they appear to move backward due to perspective created by two revolving objects around the same point at different speeds and distances. Basically, because the Earth and other planets revolve around the sun at different speeds and distances, sometimes it appears that the other planets have reversed orbital direction simply due to our perspective. It's a hard concept to explain with words, so I actually have an animated GIF that I'll show you on the video version. So if you're not on YouTube, go check us out. Like not time-lapse image, but like night by night images of the planets in retrograde, and it kind of does like a spiral in the sky.
Oh, that's so cool.
If you're just listening and still don't get retrograde, head over to YouTube, take a look. Like I said, I just showed that. We're at about 49 minutes is when I did that. So you can skip ahead to that point if you want to. I'll try to put a chapter in there for YouTube. So if I can remember to. Okay. Yep. My script just kind of does what I just did and describes that thing. So by the end of the Babylonian, by the era of the Babylonians, astronomers had figured out that Mars makes 37 orbits in 79 years, and arithmetic methods were created for predicting the positions of the planets, including Mars. Excuse me. In ancient Greece, Mars was known as Eris or Ares, and in
Ares.
Roman culture, it was named Mars. Both
God
of
of War.
these, what?
God of War.
Yeah. Both of these names are also after the respective gods of war. Generally, since Mars appears red, civilizations associated it with blood and war. Speaking of the red color of Mars, I'm sure most of you know why the surface of Mars appears red, but for those who may not, I'm going to touch on it really quickly. It's just rust. The soil on Mars contains ferric iron, which, when exposed to oxygen, oxidizes and turns red. Most of the surface rocks of Mars are similar to those on Earth. They're primarily made up of silica, oxygen, and metals, along with other trace elements. That's why we have very orange clay here in the south. It's oxidized.
It's rust.
Yeah, it's oxidized chemicals.
I didn't know.
Oxidized iron in the soil.
I did not know it was considered rust. Like,
I don't know if it's technically the same thing, but rust is just oxidation of metal. So,
well, Tyler, you just blew my mind with that. So,
wow, look at that! Another nugget slipped out.
Jesus.
I just need to go wipe myself. Well, I'm sorry. So you may be asking yourself, if the soil has oxidized, there must be oxygen in the atmosphere, right? Well, you're right and wrong. There have been very trace amounts of oxygen and water vapor in Mars's atmosphere over the last 4.6 billion years, but these trace amounts have been enough to cause the oxidation that we are able to see. It's also believed by scientists that Mars's mantle is twice as iron-rich as Earth's, which is much larger. Before I dive too deeply into the geology of Mars and bore the pants off everybody, let's take a look at the water on Mars and whether the water on Mars topic and whether or not any water can sustain a population of life. There's a simple and a complicated answer to the question, is there water on Mars? The simple answer is yes. Mars has ice caps at its poles, which is the solid form of water. The complicated answer is probably not. NASA scientists have discovered, through the use of rovers on Mars, the mineral jarosite, which on Earth only forms in the presence of acidic liquid water. They've also found the mineral gypsum, which also forms in the presence of liquid water. NASA has reported several findings of underground ice, with one such finding in November of 2016, the area equal to that of Lake Superior. Scientists also believe that the mantle on Mars contains hydroxyl ions, a family of ions made up of hydrogen and oxygen, which could potentially be a significant source of water as well. So there's water there, but it doesn't seem like there's liquid water.
But there was.
Potentially.
At one point.
Potentially. The Mars rovers, which there are 5 of, have played a vital role in theories about water on Mars, both currently and in the past. The rovers are mobile labs which study the geology and the surface of Mars remotely. The rovers have made many of the discoveries that I mentioned earlier related to mineral discoveries, but more than just finding minerals that suggest the presence of liquid water in the past, they have found topographical evidence of liquid water being present. So basically, that's like everybody knows what topography of the Earth is. Well, this is topography of Mars. There's potentially riverbeds and creek beds and, all sorts of stuff that liquid water causes through erosion. In 2012, the rover Curiosity discovered evidence of an ancient stream bed in which NASA scientists found rocks that appeared to have been eroded by water. Unfortunately, there's no way to determine when these rocks were eroded, and ultimately this could have happened billions of years ago. The present issue with liquid water on Mars is that the low atmospheric pressure, which is roughly 1% of the Earth's atmospheric pressure, does not allow for water to stay within the planet's fairly weak atmosphere. So over billions of years, any liquid water has simply drifted off into space. Remember we mentioned earlier that Mars has 62.5% less gravity than Earth, meaning that it's harder for Mars to hold on to objects, and in this case, water vapor molecules. I'll go a little more in detail about this in a minute. So now that we've got a fairly good summary of the planet, let's take a look at whether or not Mars can support human life, since the new space race is now to send a person to Mars. Start with, let's look at the surface of Mars. I mentioned the soil earlier, which is oxidized. Can the soil support organic life in order for growing food? Kinda. Depending on what part of Mars that we land on, the soils do contain the minerals necessary to grow plants. It's more a matter of if they are balanced correctly. So, got the right nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, just like you would in your garden.
Mm-hmm.
Fertilizers could be added to the soil to make the ratios correct. So, again, just like your garden. While we're back on the subject of soil and survivability, I want to point out that the soil on Mars contains 0.6% salt perchlorate, which is a toxic level for humans. Not a good sign for us living there. Mars is also made up of what?
Could we neutralize that?
I don't know. I didn't. If I was better at this, I would know.
Oh.
I didn't research that.
Okay.
That's a project. If you know anything about it or want to know more, comment, research that, see if we can neutralize that salt perchlorate and make it to a tolerable level for humans. Comment that in the description below.
Please. I want to know.
And she's lazy and doesn't want to do it herself.
True.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on
No,
blast like that.
That was fact. That was fact.
Mars is also made up of very rough terrain. The planet is home to the tallest volcano in the solar system, Olympus Mons, several deep craters and canyons created by meteor impacts, as well as jagged mountain ranges and surface rocks. Let's explore the atmosphere in a little bit more detail and see if it would support life. I mentioned earlier that Mars has very little atmospheric pressure. It also lost its magnetosphere, or magnetic field, around 4 billion years ago.
I didn't know you could lose one of those.
It could blow away with the wind. Sorry, that was a poorly placed Eminem reference. Yep, you can lose your magnetosphere, and Mars did so about 4 billion years ago. Scientists believe this was due to a large amount of asteroid strikes. Since the planet has no magnetic field to protect it from the solar winds, they're able to impact the Martian atmosphere directly and strip away material. To illustrate how little atmospheric pressure there is on Mars, check out this NASA nugget. The highest atmospheric pressure on Mars is equal to the atmospheric pressure found 22 miles above Earth's surface. So there's not a lot of pressure up there. Not that much oxygen because it all gets blown away.
So what I'm hearing is we just need to create artificial gravity, and then Mars will be fine. Kind of.
Well, maybe. I mean, you got to bring back the magnetic field too.
Well, I mean, that would come back with gravity, maybe, right?
No, that's generated, if memory serves from college, that's generated by the iron core inside the planet. And I don't know that much about Mars's core. I don't know if I talk about it in here or not, because I did this research a month ago.
Fair.
Mars's atmosphere is made up of 96% CO2, 1.93% argon, 1.89% nitrogen, and trace amounts of oxygen and water vapor. Not very conducive to human breathing, and I bet it's hot as a mother's with all that CO2. Talk about global warming. In addition, the heavy presence of CO2 in the Martian atmosphere greatly dampens sounds and causes the surface to be extremely quiet. The final topic we're going to touch on is the climate of Mars. Since the planet is tilted at 25 degrees, it would experience the most similar to season of all the planets. It would experience, I don't even know how I worded this. Basically, because it's tilted very similar to what Earth is tilted, which is 23.5 degrees, the seasons would be very similar to Earth and Mars.
Spring, summer, autumn.
Yes,
winter.
compared to any other planet in our solar system. But despite this, Mars and Earth okay, yeah, I do have it in here. Sorry. I was going to interject a fact there that I knew, but I have it in here. Despite this, Mars and Earth do not orbit the sun in the same way. The sun is nearly the center of the Earth's orbit. However, it is not the center of Mars's orbit, meaning that certain parts of the Martian year are warmer and others are colder. Again, I have an animation that shows this for those who are only listening. We're at the 1 hour and 1 minute mark. Megan's mind again with another GIF in the middle.
Another GIF in the video. I am like,
I can do this. Like I can connect internets and internet pages and GIFs and pictures and all sorts of shit. You just gotta let me know.
what?
Yeah, I've been able to do this. I did this a long time ago too.
Oh my God. How do I? Well, that's a question for off air. Never mind. Like, tell me how. Off air. What?
Also, since the Martian year is roughly double an Earth year, the seasons would be roughly double as well. So you would have a super hot summer that kind of was twice as long as our summer. And then you would have a super cold winter that's twice as long as our winter. And then you would have, it would honestly probably be even longer because the offset orbit, you'd have more colder and less warmer, kind of more winter, less spring and fall. So I don't know. Interesting. Mars is also known to experience dust devils, which is basically a dust tornado, and dust storms, which are some of which are the largest in the solar system. These dust storms can reach up to 100 miles per hour. And they tend to happen when Mars is closest to the sun and have covered the entire planet before, resulting in increased temperatures. I can certainly see that happening because, most of our bad weather occurs in the summertime here.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, Mill's getting in trouble.
Yeah, Millie's licking her spay area. So I had to knock that off.
Why, Milson?
Oh, I lost my spot. Okay, yeah. Speaking of, it's covered the entire planet before with the dust storms, which has increased the temperatures on the entire planet. Speaking of temperatures, the average temperature on Mars is negative 81 degrees Fahrenheit with highs getting around 86 degrees. And your lows, they're a little bit cold. They're about negative 284 degrees.
Oh, fuck.
Compared to Earth's high and low are the high is 136 and the low is negative 126 respectively. So it's a little cold on Mars. Now those are the extremes. Those are not the,
Averages.
Yeah. The average is negative 81 degrees. So, but if you get to the high area, decently warm day.
Not bad.
Not terrible.
Nice day.
86 is a little warm for me. I'd prefer in the 70s, but
I like 86. That would be nice.
the planet has such a wide range due to the thin atmosphere and not being able to store much solar heat. So temperatures range there. greatly. With all that being said, I'm going to drop one last Mars factoid on you. Mars is 1.52 times as far from the sun as the Earth is, which results in the planet receiving only 43% of the amount of sunlight that we get here on Earth. So, for all you night people, basically cut our day in half. So, with all that information on the planet, I'm curious to know how you all feel about our chances of survival on Mars. The challenges are astronomical, but the challenges were astronomical to put people on the moon, yet we've done that. So, please leave us a comment or send us an email and let us know what you think and if you'd sign up to go to Mars on a one-way trip.
Oh. All right. That was good. I need the technology to advance more before I agree to sign up for a one-way trip. I need it to go further a little bit.
I thought... Excuse me. I must have swallowed a bug or something. I always wanted to. I always thought I'd be down for that. But as I've gotten older, I'm okay. So...
Trivia with Tyler.
Alrighty.
What's our full-size Tyler Nugget?
Oof. I don't know. I didn't have it pulled up, so we're going to have to get to it first.
Oh, shit.
In the meantime, watched an interesting NASCAR race today.
Yeah?
Yeah. Shelby and I got a lot done before 10 o'clock this morning. So we ended up watching the race. Okay, I think I've got it.
All right.
There are no more than 12 Kmart stores remaining in the U.S. At its peak in 1994, there were 2,323, so that's 2323, stores in the U.S. and 2,486 globally. Until 1990, when it was surpassed by Walmart, it was the second largest retailer in the U.S. after Sears.
Wow. And now there are 12?
Yep.
Wow. How the mighty have fallen.
Yep. Same with Sears. Literally was Amazon before Amazon. Just didn't want to take on the internet.
I fucked them over.
Yep. So.
Mail time.
Now, our newer listeners probably have never heard that before.
Because y'all fuckers don't send us mail.
Yes, most people don't send us mail.
Please mail us contact at whiskeyandwonder.com. We appreciate it, and we like having it as part of the show.
Yes. So, did we do this? Did we do Johnny Cinco's mail?
I do not recall doing Johnny Cinco's mail.
Okay. All right, then. He must have sent it right before I went on vacation. So, John Cinco writes in, which is, we've said that.
I mean,
yeah.
He's been on the show.
Oh yeah, I guess he has been on the show. I forgot you've been on the show. So this is Shelby's brother, Johnny Cinco.
Hi, Cinco.
So he says, long time overdue email. Let's start with the barrel bourbon review. I'm terrible with picking up notes on the smell, but I do get the smell of pepper jelly. I don't fucking know. He put that in parentheses. This is after you get past the pleasant nose tingle. It's definitely not beach sands or whatever wild BS they were claiming. Who even remembers or knows what beach sand tastes like? So he's referencing we did in what episode was that? The Barrel Bourbon, episode 102. We did a bourbon that he also has. It is a cask strength, so they're different barrels, and he has a different barrel. So we kind of compared it, and they were going on and on and on the website about the most ridiculous things that they were tasting and smelling. Like I think
of the walls,
yeah, like shit, like
poetic,
sweaty gym socks. I'm sorry, I'm being facetious, but stupid shit like that, like lavender. The innocence of a virgin. Just stuff like that.
It's very poetic off the
Yeah.
walls. Like, you
like,
you don't smell that.
yeah, go fuck yourself. So anyway, that's what he's making fun of there. He says the taste, however, starts with a light burn on the tongue, but opens up to a candy apple and ends with a faint peppermint mid-throat burn, almost like a good root beer. To be fair, the last thing I had before this was an Altoid. We're gonna next time we get together, whether that's here or Tennessee, we need to bring those two or somewhere in the middle. We need to bring those two bourbons
Agreed.
and compare those. I would
for sure. I would enjoy having that. Maybe we'll do that for the Patreons.
He goes on to say, well, I'll be damned. Just read the notes on this and I was pretty close. Although there are 17 nose notes, 7 palate notes, and 6 finish notes. Kind of hard to miss with that much to choose from. So he said, I would score this a 9, and for reference would give Woodford Reserve Double Oaked a 9, which Megan and I have also done. I don't remember what we've rated it off the top of our heads. Let's see if I have it right here.
I gave Woodford Double Oaked a 10. I think you gave it.
You gave it a 9, and I gave it an 8.5.
Okay.
So it is high up there. And for reference, Megan and I, spoiler alert, if you're going to go listen to episode 102, Megan gave it a 7. I gave it a 7.5. So we all three liked that pretty well.
Yes.
So, I did not have to endure the lengthy list of notes. However, as you mentioned, this is a single barrel pick, so I can imagine it will have a little different taste than yours. But I'll make sure to save some for a head-to-head. Awesome. Thank you, John. I appreciate that.
Amazing. Thank you, Johnny
Oh, no, we
Cinco.
still got more on his message.
Oh, we do?
I'm just saying thanks for saving that. Because I really do. I like doing the
Head for heads.
head-to-heads of different barrels and stuff. So if you are a longtime listener, you'll remember when Shelby and I went to visit them last, we had a game of Monopoly that turned into communist Monopoly. Basically, everybody teamed up against me because I held the game hostage because I refused to buy hotels. I just used all the houses, and you have to have houses to buy hotels. Anyway, so he says, in regard to our communist Monopoly game over the holidays, I do prescribe to the Nassim Taleb outlook on governance. I am at the Fed level libertarian, at the state level Republican, at the local level Democratic, at the family and friends level a socialist, and in my home a communist. I highly recommend everyone play that way because honestly, why else do you play board games if you're not going to disown your own loved ones during the holidays? The Manning family are known for their stubborn competitiveness, and you got to see it full-fledged. I sure did, and I'm so proud of myself for that. You have no idea, because I was getting my ass handed to me, not knowing what was happening. Like, you know, in the cartoon, like everything's just flying by somebody, and they're just like, "What is happening?" That was me, and I found a loophole that I could exploit.
And you took it. You took that loophole, and you ran with it.
I am so proud of that. He goes on to say. Business is great, and it's been quite the experience being self-employed. Glad to hear y'all are having a positive 2023, especially you, Megan. Also happy to see that we finally can all agree on a bourbon for once. Cheers. So,
cheers.
John, cheers. Thank you for that message. We appreciate it. Sorry it took us so long. He sent this in at the beginning of May, so it took us a month and a half. Beginning of March, so it took us a month and a half to read it. But thank you for sending it. We will be speedier
so much
on the next one.
Yes, life got crazy, and I didn't want to read it without you here.
Well, I appreciate it, and you know, I hear you've been killing it in the self-employed game. So
hell yeah!
If you want, we're happy to shout out your company, but you know, reach out to us and let us know
so we can shout you out.
If you don't want us to, we won't.
Yep.
So we won't do it here for now.
Yep. But email us and let us know so we can or we can't.
Glad you're kicking ass.
For sure.
So, with that being said, it's time.
Final thoughts.
I really like it with the water drop. It was all right. It was good without it, but I added the water and I really like it. It didn't, to me, take away the spice.
Nope, definitely brought the spice out.
It definitely brought the spice out, but it also it added some like creaminess to it. I like it.
I can see what you're saying. It's creamy on the front end. Oh my God, it's making me salivate so much. It brought out the spice and it brought out the leathery, oaky flavor.
Yeah.
And, I prefer it without the water, certainly.
No, opposite of me.
Yep.
All right.
So,
I mean,
what you feeling?
Man, this was a good one to come back from our weird random hiatus. I'm really liking this. This is a good 8. Good 8. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8. What are you thinking, Tyler?
I don't think I'm that high on it. I have taken and I've put water in my glass and washing it out so I can try some of these other things. I would go. I'm wavering between a 6.5 and a 7.
Okay.
But my gut's screaming 6.5. So
All right.
I'm going with a 6.5 on that if I can find my pen. And now it is time for me to do some of these other whiskeys. And in the meantime, while I'm pouring that, which is going to be awesome, I have got confirmation it is okay to give a shout out to John's business. His business is Little Guys Movers in Nashville, Tennessee. He has recently started his own franchise and
amazing.
Yep.
So Little Guys Movers, awesome. I wish you were in North Carolina because I know eventually we're going to be moving at some point, not in the near future, but in the future. And I would love to give you business. But shout out Little Guys Movers in Nashville, Tennessee. If you're in Tennessee and you're moving, you need to check them out because amazing. Johnny Cinco is super awesome, and we love him here.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself, Megan. John, if I have a question or Shelby has a question about how to move something, any kind of odd piece of furniture or anything like that, John is our go-to. And he always comes through with reliable information and the best solution for our problem.
Yeah.
So I would have no issues giving him money. So come open a franchise down here.
Yep, for sure.
All right. I have poured a little more than I meant to.
You poured the good one first.
Yeah, I did pour the good one first. I poured a little more than I meant to, but I figured I need to get some water in there too.
So this is the Pinhook Bourbon Heist. This was their, I believe, 2021 flagship. So Pinhook is a company, Tyler, that partners with a stable. And every year their whiskeys are different. So they name their whiskey like batch each year based off one of the horses that's up and coming in the stable that they partner with. Bourbon Heist happens to be the 2021 one. And Jamie and I both were hella impressed and enjoyed.
I see that. You both gave it a 10.
Yeah, we both really liked this, and I bought it. I bought it because of the company because it had a horsey on it. And Jamie's an equestrian and big into the horse world and horse stuff. So
you know what they say about horse girls?
What do they say about horse girls?
They're crazy.
Factual, yeah.
Also my experience too. Not in a good way.
Oh, mine's in a good way. Mine's in a good way. I love you, Jamie.
Nah, mine wasn't a bad way. How
are you feeling? You've had it without water.
I've had it without water. It tasted like corn. Just pretty plain corn. Pretty plain whiskey.
Okay.
Maybe it's because I'm having it after we had the Russells, which had a ton of flavor.
Okay.
What's the proof on this? It's 98. So it's a lot lower.
A lot lower. Yep.
I just tried my first sip of the water. Got a little better. Brought out a little bit more of a little bit more spice, maybe a little bit more sweet, a little bit more flavor, for lack of a better word. I can see Megan over there making the angriest face and trying to hide it. She's like,
I don't like you,
can't
son
do
of a
that.
bitch.
Yeah, she's like, you're insulting my family. Yeah, I'm. It's meh for me. So
All right. Well, meh. Pinhook is meh.
I'm gonna have to give it. I will give that. I'll give it a solid 5.
Wow. Okay. All right. You are entitled to your opinion, sir.
It just, number one, I'm not big on adding anything. I generally drink neat,
Yeah.
and it was just so bland. It tasted like corn, and
Okay.
I'd be interested in trying it again on a fresh palate.
Okay.
I will admit up front, this Russell's might have had something to do with that.
Okay.
It tasted bland, so. All right. Now I get to
All
put.
right.
Now I
Now
get
you
put
got
this
to
shit
pour
in my
some
mouth.
more water and swirl it around, and you're going to try something else new.
Ew. I want to go ahead and put this on record before I try this. I don't even really like s'mores, so that tells you where it's going to end up for me.
Well, it doesn't taste like s'mores, so maybe you're going to love it.
Oh, I can barely get it open. It's like glued itself shut.
Oh, it's so bad. You enjoy that. So Revelstoke is a brand that seems, from what I can tell, to kind of to focus on interesting flavored whiskeys, probably because they have no talent, can't do anything else.
Shots fired. God. Wow. I was not expecting.
Revelstoke was disgusting, and I had to force myself to drink it the whole time. It was horrifying, and
Let me ask this question.
yes,
Obviously, I wasn't here and I did not listen. Sorry.
fair. Yeah, I know.
What'd you think of the smell?
I can't remember. I remember, I think, being like weary, scared.
Really, I think it smells like straight caramel.
Yeah.
Smell this.
Let me smell it again.
It smells like a caramel candle.
It make it hit.
I don't like s'mores. I know what Megan rated. I know what Megan and Jamie rated this. I'm not looking forward to this, but based off the smell, it smells good.
Well,
I will say it smells very good.
Maybe we are about to be surprised. I'm now terrified of all flavored whiskeys. Though I did have a listener, shout out friend Corey. Hi, friend Corey. She reached out and said that there is one flavored whiskey I have to try before I write them off completely. And it is a strawberry lemonade flavored whiskey. I can't remember from the company. But she said that if I try that one and I don't like it, like there's something wrong with me. So, Corey, I'm going to tempt your flavored whiskey if I ever see it in stores. But other than that, man, flavored whiskeys are just... I don't think so. Well, your face wasn't horrified. Oh, maybe a little bit.
Um, I'm at a loss for words here. When I drink whiskey, I don't expect sweet.
Not like that.
I don't expect syrup.
It
It tastes like I'm drinking sugar water.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, you wash your mouth out.
And it's got this like
Filmy.
it's got
coating.
this like no, not that. It's like a funky aftertaste.
It's horrifying.
I guess it's kind of like the aftertaste that graham crackers leave in your mouth, I guess, but not. That just ain't what I want in a
Nope.
whiskey.
I would never.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys though. Having polished off 2 of those almost back to back,
you
I'm
feeling good?
I'm buzzing. I wouldn't say I'm buzzing, but I'm close to buzzing. I'm definitely feeling it. I just put some water in here.
Because that changes it so much.
Oh, Megan just spoiled it. I don't need.
No,
I don't need to drink this now.
I mean, you got to try it. Maybe it's just my opinion.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to this.
Nope. Gross.
Tastes like sugar water. Oh,
Blech.
that's like faintly flavored vanilla.
It's horrifying. That's not a whiskey. I don't want to drink that. That is not a whiskey. And Revelstoke, you should be ashamed.
Can I ask a serious question?
Yes.
Oh my Lord. Number 1, why did you buy this?
Smorgasm. The name made me go like,
Sucker.
I was a 13-year-old boy for a second.
Yeah, no, that's terrible. I'm gonna give that a solid. Let's see, what did y'all rate that?
I think I gave it a 1. Jamie gave it a...
Jamie gave it a 4.
Jamie's not a whiskey drinker. I know. I almost disowned her too.
You hear that?
It's the sound of disappointment.
Yeah, that's the sound of disappointment.
Yep.
I'm going even lower than Megan. I'm giving it a 0.5.
Fuck that shit.
My second question, the original question I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Are you gonna take that home?
I have friend Fisco wants to try it.
Okay.
Why? Do you want it?
Yeah.
Why do you want it?
Make people try it.
I
I want them to suffer too.
I am going to take it home to let friend Fisco give it a shot
Okay.
because she heard the episode and she was like, I gotta try it.
Okay.
But then I'll bring it back to you whatever is left. I'm
Okay.
assuming a
Sold.
lot's gonna be left.
Sold. It's yeah, I want that as a practical joke.
Yep. That is the only
That's
purpose
about
of
what
it.
it's good for.
That's the only purpose is try this whiskey.
All right. Well,
Icky.
I am officially feeling decent.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think on that note, now that Tyler is caught up, and we are about out of time here. So thank you guys so much for sticking around. Thank you to all our Patreons, all our supporters. Please take the time to like, rate, subscribe, do all the wonderful things you guys do. It helps us climb the charts, helps us get noticed.
Make sure you comment. What do you think about Mars? You think we could live there? You think we couldn't?
Yeah, let us know
Let us know about this smorgasm if
if you've tried it.
excuse me, sorry, if you've tried it, yeah.
Um,
And if you've been to Bull and Bush, which is, by the way, I did not talk about their logo. I don't know if you can see it. It's over here.
it's the Colorado state flag.
Where is it? There it is. Yeah, but get it.
I can't
Get
see
you,
that far away.
Get you a good look.
Oh my God. The logo is 2 cherub-like children looking in their diapers.
Yep, 2 children. It's a male and a female children looking in their diapers. It's a bull and a bush.
Oh my fucking God.
Greatest name.
Jesus Christ.
They got me. I would say they got me like they got you with Smorgasm, but the name is awesome. And the logo is even better. I think it's hilarious.
I did not make that connection until I looked at your titty and saw the logo. So I figured Bull and Bush was their, I don't know, their names.
All right. On that note, I have broken Megan.
Yep. On that note, I think we got to go. Thank you guys so much. We look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you for being patient for our hiatus as Millie and Bohannon tried to sick Tyler out of house and home. And thank you guys for everything you do. We will see you next week. You have a great night. Don't drink and drive. Cheers.